Okay, this first podcast I'm going to talk about describing data. Now, you will definitely get a question on describing data in your biology, physics and chemistry paper. So if you can crack this skill, then you'll be picking up marks on all three of your papers. And I'm going to start off with a graph. So how do you describe a graph? And when you're describing, you're not saying why it looks like that, you're just saying what it looks like. In terms of the skill, it's very much of a lesser demand than an explain question. So, looking at this graph, I'm about to describe this data. The first thing you do is draw a line on your graph for any significant changes in your line. So as you can see on this graph, it increases to this point and then it levels off. And that is what I'm going to describe. And an answer to a question, how does light, and describe how light intensity affects the number of oxygen bubbles produced, i.e. photosynthesis, I'll answer it like this. So as light intensity increases, oxygen bubbles also increase. Now, if I left it like that, that would be inaccurate, wouldn't it? Because what I'm saying there is the line continues to go straight up, but it doesn't, because at this point here, it levels off. And that's my second sentence. However, good use of the connective, at a light intensity of 60 lux, the units here, the line levels off. And there's my answer. Now this may only be worth, this question might only have 2 marks, but in some I'll have 3. But by answering like this, I have certainly put 3 marking points in my answer. Because I've put, as light intensity increases, this will get me a mark. It also increase. However, at a light intensity of 60, so I've used some data, there's another mark. The line levels off, another mark. Okay, so look at the terminology, increases, levels off, or decreases, depending on what your line is doing. We're not saying it goes up, it goes down. We're being more scientific than that and using better key terminology. Now, the last part of data, or the next part of data, you could get a table like this to describe. And you take exactly the same approach. You are looking for trends in your data. Is it going up, increasing? Is it going down, or is it the same? Now, as it happens here, it goes up from 10 to 12 to 13, and at that point it decreases. And that is what I'm going to put in my answer. And the question will be, describe how temperature affects enzyme activity. So, here we go. As temperature increases, enzyme activity also increases until 40 degrees here, look. 40 degrees. After that, enzyme activity decreases. The same increases. I've used some data and decreases. And that's how you describe data. So what I'd like to do now is have a click onto the link with some questions to practice this skill. Thank you.